When purchasing a phone through Freedom Voice, they arrive pre-provisioned. This means that they are already pointed to our provisioning servers and are waiting for further instructions. At this point, all we need to do is activate the device on WebLink and plug it in. When purchasing a phone from a third-party vendor, they will come with the provisioning of the previous provider. It is always best practice to first issue a factory reset on any third-party acquired device to ensure that it's running the Polycom defaults. This lets us know that the phone is running on a standard configuration with nothing extra. We'll first activate the phone on WebLink so that all we have to do is plug in the phone. If you plug in the phones first, you'll need to reboot after the activation. The activation process is simple. We will only need to enter in simple information of the device, such as the make, model, and the MAC address. Once we have it activated, we'll now provision the device. Remember that if this is a device purchased directly through us, they are already provisioned, and you can go ahead and plug them in. If not, the following steps will be required. It's also important to know this as a partner, as some new customers will already have phones that just need to be re-provisioned. Once you have the phone plugged in and it has gone through its boot cycle, we'll need to access the settings. Once we're in settings, let's go ahead and click on Advanced. If you were successful at restoring the device to factory defaults, the password will be 456. Phones with the Freedom Voice configurations will have a password of 1477. If the phone does not accept these passwords, you will need to acquire these passwords from the previous provider. Administration settings, network configuration, provisioning server. There are two settings in here that will need to be changed. The first will be server type. We will need to change this to HTTPS to connect to our secure servers. Next will be the address. We will enter in boot.hostedipbx.com. This is the server that the phones will use for any updates. The next step will be to back out until it asks to save and reboot. I like to return to these settings to verify that they've saved after the reboot cycle. Once this is complete, you've successfully pointed the phones to our service. Now let's talk about some of the standard features of these Polycoms. The amount of lines one of these phones can have will depend on the model of the phone that you purchase. The standard VVX400 Business Media phone has a line capacity of 12. That's 12 individual lines that have their own DIDs and extensions. DID is the direct inward dial. These phones are capable of two types of transfers. A warm transfer, where the transferring party will speak first to whom they're transferring to, and a blind transfer, which sends the call directly to the extension and disconnects from the call. Call parking is also available, allowing you to place a call on a virtual extension, which can be retrieved from any other device on the network. Parked calls return to the original answering party after 3 minutes have expired. Voicemail is another standard feature accessible through the Polycom interface. A message center makes it easy to manage voicemails and recordings. A directory is manageable through the phone itself, but for ease of use, we've also made this feature available in WebLink. You could even copy a directory to multiple devices. A simple reboot is required to sync the updates to the directory. Intercom between phones is available upon request. There is one- and two-way intercom, as well as global paging. These phones initiate an update check when the phone is rebooted, and we have the ability to initiate a reboot remotely. This allows us to send updates to the phone with a simple reboot command. Polycom is simple to use and very effective, and that's why we have chosen this platform for our Cloud PBX system.